Economics, Standard 12, Unit 8, International Economic Organizations. Let us learn today, under this title, International Economic Organizations, International Monetary Fund, which is called IMF. The Great Depression of 1930 and Second World War led to purely nationalistic policies in which almost every country imposed trade restrictions, exchange controls and exchange depreciation so as to boost exports and to restrict imports considerably. The Bretton Woods Conference proposed IMF, World Bank and ITO, International Trade Organization, in 1944. Jegan and Harry Texter White were the founder fathers of IMF and World Bank. Jegan and Harry Texter White. They were the founder fathers of IMF and World Bank. Which were established in 1945. And their headquarters is at Washington, D.C. Both IMF and World Bank has got headquarters at Washington, D.C. And the agreement on tariff and trade was transformed into WTO, World Trade Organization, from 1995, with its headquarters at Geneva. Now let us see, that is International Monetary Fund, or IMF. The purpose is to secure and promote economic and financial cooperation among member countries. The purpose of International Monetary Fund is to secure and promote economic and financial cooperation among member countries. Secondly, it was established to assist the member nations to tide over the balance of payments disequilibrium in the short term. So it was also established to assist the member nations of what we call it as payments, the balance of payments disequilibrium in the short term. And at present, the IMF has 189 member countries, including Republic of Nauru. It is also included. So 189 member countries, including Republic of Nauru, a tiny South Pacific island, that is a South Pacific island nation in Pacific Ocean, which joined in 2016. So IMF, International Monetary Fund, has 189 member countries. And of course, the objectives of IMF also we have to know. To promote international cooperation among the member countries. The first objective of IMF is to promote international cooperation among the member countries. Secondly, to facilitate faster and balanced growth of international trade. Thirdly, to ensure exchange rate stability by curbing competitive exchange depreciations. And fourthly, to eliminate or reduce exchange controls imposed by member nations. Fifthly, to establish multilateral trade and payment system in respect of current transactions instead of bilateral trade agreements. Sixth, to promote the flow of capital from developed to developing countries, especially to promote the flow of capital from developed to developing nations or countries. Seventh, to solve the problem of international liquidity. To solve the problem of international liquidity. So these are the important objectives of IMF. Let us learn the functions of IMF. Under the functions, it is working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment, and sustain economic growth and reduce poverty around the world. The main functions of IMF are: it is working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment, and sustain economic growth and reduce poverty around the world. Under functions of IMF, the first one is bringing stability in exchange rate. The bringing stability in exchange rate. So the first function of IMF is bringing stability in exchange rate. The IMF is just maintaining exchange rate stability and emphasizing devaluation criteria, restricting member countries to go in for multiple exchange rates and also to buy or sell gold at prices other than declared par value. Secondly, correcting balance of payment disequilibrium. So correcting balance of payment disequilibrium. So another important function of IMF is correcting balance of payment disequilibrium. The IMF is helping the member countries in eliminating or minimizing the short period disequilibrium in their balance of payments, either by selling or lending foreign currencies to the member nations. Thirdly, determining par values. So this is very important one. So the third function of IMF is determining par values. And IMF just enforces the system of determining par values of the currencies of the member countries. According to the Articles of Agreement of the IMF, every member nation should declare the par value of its currency in terms of gold or US dollars. Under this article, IMF ensures smooth working of the international monetary system in favor of some developed countries. So in favor of some developed countries, that is IMF ensures smooth working of the international monetary system. And fourth is balancing demand and supply of currencies. It is entrusted with the important function of maintaining balance between demand and supply of various currencies. Maintaining balance between demand and supply of. So maintaining balance between demand and supply of various currencies. Okay, between demand and supply of various currencies. So this is also another important function which just the IMF maintains. So by balancing demand and supply of currencies, it is entrusted with the important function of maintaining balance between demand and supply of various currencies. And the fund can declare a currency as a scarce currency, which is in great demand, and can increase its supply by borrowing it from the country concerned or by purchasing the same currency in exchange of gold. And the fifth point is reducing trade restrictions. The fund also aims at reducing tariffs and other trade barriers imposed by the member countries with the purpose of removing restrictions, on remittance of, that is, pounds, or to avoid discriminating practices. So, in order to avoid discriminating practices, the fund just acts on reducing trade restrictions. And sixth point is providing credit facilities. IMF is providing different borrowing and credit facilities with the objective of helping the member countries. These credit facilities are offered by it include, that is, basic credit facility, extended fund facility, basic credit facility, extended fund facility for a period of 3 years, and compensatory financing facility, and structural adjustment facilities. The functions of IMF are grouped under 3 heads: financial assistance to correct short and medium term deficit in balance of payment, and second, regulatory code of conduct, and consultative, that is, counseling and technical consultancy is also carried out. So IMF plays an important role in uniting and improving the economic of the whole world, just supplying or helping the developed and developing countries. That is what we call it as International Monetary Fund. Let us continue. That is what we have, facilities offered by IMF and India in the next class.